Hello, 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 and welcome to the Stop Being an Asshole to Yourself webinar. So, the whole kind of premise around this and why I wanted to go over it, and I'm going to tell you a story in a few minutes, is because oftentimes we can let the voice in our head get out of control. And what I mean by that is when we aren't conscious of how we are co-creating our thoughts and how much of an influence our ego, past experiences, unprocessed emotions have on the thoughts that do pop into our head, we need to be super conscious of how we're co-creating that, because we are co-creating it. And a lot of times, and for a lot of years, I thought that, and I'm sure a lot of other people think this too, I thought that I had no control over my thoughts. And for a lot of years, I was very confused, and I felt really powerless when it came to my thoughts. Like I was like, oh my God, I can't shut my thoughts down. Oh my God, I can't control, what's popping into my head. And a lot of it had to do with anxiety, which it really manifested into a lot of anxiety. But it was always my image. It was always my body image. It was always my face. It was heavily into like my physical looks. And that was just something that I struggled with for a lot of years. And it was something that people always had something to say about, not because it's true. Here's the thing. People don't make things up and just say them to you. People project your energy back to you. People are mirrors. And the quicker we can understand that, the quicker we can approach what someone said, even if it was really hurtful or painful, to something that, as a mirror up against us and saying, what kind of energy am I putting out there? And your energy has to do deeply with how you feel. How you feel inside is going to project your energy out there. And so, have you ever had an experience where you're thinking, in a positive way, say you're feeling amazing, your hair's done, your makeup's done, you're in the best shape of your life, you're walking around town and you feel amazing and you just get constant compliments? That's not because of the way you look. It's your energy. It's your energy. Because you could look the exact same way, but not feel confident. You could feel really insecure and really like just not comfortable, and you won't get the same response. I'm telling you right now, it's all about what we're projecting out. And so I'm going to lead into a story about makeup. So if you follow me on Instagram, or first I'm going to take a quick sip of my superfoods latte. It's a cozy, snowy morning in New York, so a nice warm drink is definitely called for. Okay, so this story is about makeup. This story is about on Halloween, maybe 6 or 7 years ago. It was the first year me and my fiance were dating, and we went out, and I don't wear a lot of makeup, especially now. I don't wear any makeup pretty much. Even like right now, I'm not wearing anything on my face, on my eyes, on my eyebrows, nothing. And I wore a lot of heavy makeup when I was like 13 to like 15 maybe. And then I kind of stopped. I kind of started to really hone in on how I could make myself look better from the inside out and have this really natural sense of beauty, and really also to feel naturally beautiful for me as well. So that was kind of why I backed away from makeup in the beginning. And it was really because I wanted to hone in on the natural beauty that I knew I had. And so it started off really healthy, but as always, our ego will put us into a comfort zone. And so I got very comfortable with not wearing anything on my face. And you might say, well, Tori, you know, that's a good thing. You should be comfortable with it. But my beliefs have changed. My beliefs have, while I think it's really, really important to be comfortable with your natural beauty above all else, because that is you, but also your beauty is not your face without makeup. You know what I mean? Like, your beauty is your soul. Your beauty is the inside. And so I was still relating it to a really superficial thing, a really superficial level of beauty, when beauty has nothing to do with the way we look. It has to do with our energy. It has to do with our soul. And so when my beliefs shifted and I thought, you know, this body is like a shapeshifter, like on a very spiritual, like fun level. It's like an avatar. Like, you can change it. You could change your hair color. You could change your eye color with contacts. You could, and like, if it's a healthy way of just playing, then why not? Why not play with our looks to see what we can look like? What, you know, why not do that? That's honestly so much fun. And so I've kind of gotten into that now with makeup. And I only did it twice, but I had this really profound experience that I want to share with you. There's a little bit of a backstory to it. So I'll tell you the backstory after, 'cause it's a little bit of a twist. So I had, the other day, last week, after the webinar last week, I got an order of lashes in the mail. And my friend opened up like a cosmetic company, and she had some lashes, and I decided that I wanted some. I decided I wanted to support it. I decided I wanted to start playing more. I decided it was fun, and I was really excited to do it. And they come with these cute little affirmations. Basically, it's like a conscious, spiritual, like intentional beauty routine. Like, her whole thing is that you put on your makeup, but make it more intentional with like an affirmation. So all of her lashes are like named after certain like spiritual things, and then they have an affirmation that suits that name with it. And so it's like, it's the cutest thing, and it's like right up my alley. So that's why I did it. And I was so excited when I ordered them. I was so excited when I got them. I was so excited to put them on. And when I put them on, something happened. Something shifted. The excitement went away, and the fear and uncomfortability and the intrusive thoughts got very, very loud, very, very loud, saying all kinds of things like, you don't look pretty. Everybody's staring at you. You look weird. You look like a drag queen. All of these really negative, intrusive thoughts about myself that, I'll be really honest with you, I don't have those kinds of thoughts. I reel them in very fast. I'm very comfortable with who I am. I do the work consistently to feel that way. So I was very aware when these thoughts came in that there was something off about this. So I sat there, and I've been doing a lot of work. And this is the kind of action steps I'm going to have you take after this webinar. Is I've been doing a lot of work on just really being curious about the thoughts that are coming into my head, really trying to see what they're here to teach me, because that's what they are. That's what they always are. What are you trying to teach me? And so I sat there, and I was like, and I allowed myself to feel the pain of actually recognizing and acknowledging those thoughts, even if they weren't my own, even if I knew they weren't my own. It's still painful to hear it, even if you know something's not true and someone says it to you, it still hurts sometimes. And it's the same thing with your own thoughts. And that's why the theme of this webinar is stop being an asshole to yourself, because we can catch those thoughts and turn them around really fast. You can start to do it, and your rebound rate gets so fast in terms of like recognizing, turning it around. And so that's what I'm here to teach you today. So when I sat there and I felt the pain of recognizing those thoughts, I realized they weren't mine. I realized that they were a really old, unprocessed experience and emotion. And so what happens with unprocessed emotions is that a lot of times it happens when we're kids, but it can also happen if you're not conscious and aware of yourself enough to deal with something in the moment. So our bodies are so smart, but this is actually very wild. When I learned about it, I was like, I can't even believe this. And then I experienced this whole thing I'm telling you about. And it was really, really eye-opening. So what happens when you have an emotion that comes up, or an experience, and you don't have, like, you're not equipped to process it at the time, your body just puts it away immediately. It just stores it and puts it into your cells. So you quite literally have emotions living in your cells from who knows how long ago that have not been processed yet. And so the whole point of doing the work of journaling, of digging deep, of getting a coach, of joining a program, of doing the deep emotional self-development work is so that the next time this unprocessed emotion shows itself in the form of a trigger, you are fully equipped to handle it and you can end the cycle. It comes up, you process it, you feel the pain, you understand it maybe, and you let it go. And that's what happened to me. And that's what I want to happen to you. I want you to be able to do that, because it's a really powerful experience to know full circle that this thing isn't going to bother you again, because it's really gone. It's really gone. And it's not just like fake gone, like you just pushed it down and it's never going to come up again, because it does come up. It comes up. It's really just, you don't know it's coming up if you're not conscious and aware of how you feel. If you're not comfortable with yourself, if you're not working on self-love, if you're not happy with your soul, like your soul, your consciousness, not your looks, not your meat suit, not your life, your, like, that thing that's in us that when we die it goes away and then it's just a body. If you're not happy with that, you won't ever feel fulfilled. You won't ever feel fulfilled, and you won't ever set yourself free from all of these things that come up, all of these negative emotions about our bodies, about ourselves, about our looks, about our skin type, our skin color, or our weight, or any of those things. They'll never go away if you don't work on the soul, so that next time those superficial triggers come up, your soul says, hold on, it's time to release this. And so when I sat there and I realized that this wasn't mine, because I don't talk to myself like that anymore, I remembered where it came from. And I truly believe it's because I have the emotional capacity, awareness, and consciousness to deal with it now. Because when it happened to me, I was not, just thinking back to like that Tori, I know she was not equipped to handle it and really deal with that. And so it's a blessing that our bodies do that our bodies are like, you can't handle this right now. You're going to like have a conniption if you try to handle this right now. So let's get rid of it until you're ready. But you're the one that has to decide when you're ready. You're the one that has to train and get ready for that moment by doing the work. That's why it's so important to do self-development work every single day, consistently, not just when you're feeling like shit, because it's like a muscle. Because I experienced the muscle last week, and that's why I'm so passionate about it right now, because experiencing that, you're like, holy shit, I've come so far. I can handle this now. This is like no longer a story I tell myself. You witness your own evolution and your own growth, and it's a really, really beautiful thing. And I think it's something that everybody deserves. It's not even deserves, it's like your birthright to experience that, you know? And so I'll tell you the story, paint the little picture for you. So it was Halloween 7 years ago. It was the first year me and my fiance were dating, and I was so excited. Listen to the similarities of the experience. I was so excited for my costume. I was going all out. I had red hair. I still have red hair, but it was like very vibrant, and I was so excited. I decided to be Poison Ivy for Halloween, and I was pumped. I was like, I was so excited. I made a costume with my mom. I did my hair like all va-va-voom. I did this crazy makeup with like ivy petals on my eyebrows and like all of this and like red lipstick, and I looked so good, and I loved how I looked. I was so excited to for the costume idea. I was so excited to execute the costume. And when I put it on and I was home and I was in my element with people who loved me, I was very excited, but there was a little something in there that I was starting to feel really uncomfortable. Not because of how I was dressed, not because I was showing a lot of leg or anything like that, but something about it. And thinking back on it now, I know I didn't know what it was, but it was something about the whole thing. I was feeling really uncomfortable. And I don't know if it's because I knew people were going to look at me, because it was very it was very, it's like red and green and like really, really, really vibrant and really, really like look at me costume. It was a very bold costume. I'll definitely say that. And so, and I used to do this a lot. I used to get really excited, do something bold, but oftentimes I never executed it. So, excuse me. So this time I executed it. We go out to a bar, and what happens? We walk inside the first bar we went to. And remember, I felt uncomfortable already. Didn't know what it was, but I felt it within myself. And it wasn't like intuition, like something bad is going to happen. It was like, I'm uncomfortable. I'm insecure. I don't want people to look at me. Like, it was that kind of feeling. We walk into the bar, and I literally walked in. And the first thing out of some person's mouth was that I was a dude, that I was a man, that I was dressed in drag. And so this is nothing against drag queens, but I think we can all agree on the fact that whatever we identify as, we want to be seen as. I identify as a woman. I want to be seen as a woman, not as a man dressed as a woman. And so, oh my God, it crushed me. And this guy was wasted, and he was a moron. And I didn't know him, and I would never see him again. But that hurt. It hurt. And you want to know why it hurt? Because it was a mirror being held up to me of how I felt. Not that I felt like a drag queen, but I felt very uncomfortable with my level of makeup. I felt very uncomfortable in my own skin. And this is what I mean. You can do the external shit. You can get your hair done. You can do your makeup. You can wear the cute outfit. But if you don't feel confident, it's going to show. That energy is going to project out and it's going to boomerang right back to you until you deal with what you're feeling. And so I had struggled with insecurity for years, and I had hid behind dressing a certain way or acting a certain way, or usually it was drinking a lot. And as I only felt confident when I drank, I was only able to deal with those kinds of things when I drank and to feel confident, even though a lot of people always told me I was beautiful, even though I got a lot of attention, even though all of these things. But if you don't, like I said, it all comes back to if you don't feel it within yourself, and it has nothing to do with your looks, has to do with you. If you don't love you, none of this shit matters. None of it matters. And so I remember that time, and I remember how insecure I was and how I had never worked on my insecurities. I had never worked on actually feeling confident. And this is, if you want to learn about confidence, go to my YouTube channel and listen to, or if you're on my YouTube channel, go to the Are You Confident as Fuck webinar, because that one is all about confidence and all the misconstructions and confusion around it. But I fed into that confusion. I thought I just was insecure. I was just not confident. But confidence is built and maintained. It's a muscle. It's not, excuse me. I'm just going to have a sip of water. Confidence is built and maintained. We're all born with it. But past a certain point, once you kind of start getting like injected into society, it goes away real quick. And that's why, you know, some of these actors or dancers or people who are like, you know, in the public eye, they're not happy. They're not happy because they're not confident in themselves. They're just in this external, superficial race. And so where am I going with this? This goes back to the idea that we need to hone in on these thoughts, deal with them, train, realize they're not yours. They could be old experiences like I dealt with. Because if I didn't sit there in my car a week ago when I felt really uncomfortable with my makeup, if I didn't sit there with curiosity, I wouldn't have noticed that it was an old wound showing itself to me so that I could heal it. And I'll tell you the full circle end of this story is that yesterday, if you follow me on Instagram, you know, yesterday I went and I got my makeup done by a friend, the girl who owns the lash company, my friend. And I got my makeup done. I was wearing the most makeup I've ever worn in my life, more than the week before. It was very tasteful. It was very like perfect for my features and all of that. She did a great job. But I was wearing the most makeup I have ever worn in my life. And I walked down the street to go to my car when I got out of her place. I went to go get an acai bowl. I went to go fill up my water bottles. I have like a alkaline water place I go to. I went out to dinner with my fiance. I came home. I went to my mom's house. So what's the point of me telling you everywhere I went? The day last week that I wore so much makeup and I got so uncomfortable, I went to CVS, one place. And I was that uncomfortable. One place for 5 minutes and I was that uncomfortable. Yesterday, I was confident, happy, like feeling myself, having the best time, playful energy. I was having so much fun with the little bit of shape shifting that happened with my face. And it was just so much fun. And so I know that dealing with that emotion in that moment, the way that I did heal that wound forever. It did heal that wound forever because I no longer feel it inside of me. And it got put to the test this yesterday. And it was just, when you see that, when you see the full circle moment, you're like, holy crap, I have so much power. I have so much power. But you cannot have these kinds of experiences until you create a baseline of feeling a certain way about yourself. So remember back in the beginning of the story when I said I started having the thoughts when I went to CVS, I started having the thoughts of I look weird, people are looking at me, whatever, all those thoughts. But I know my baseline. I know I don't I know I don't talk to myself like that. So I was like, this is a trigger. This is an ego thing. What is it? What are you trying to tell me? So my point is, we need to create the baseline. You need to stop being an asshole to yourself and stop feeding into those thoughts because they're not yours. They're here to teach you something, but you don't have to deal with them right this second. If you're not super conscious, super aware of yourself, super comfortable in who you are, then that's okay. That's okay. We can start to build. This is where the positive words of affirmation and positive and self-love comes in. This is where I want you to just like shower yourself in self-love, in positive affirmations for the next like 6 months. I'm not even kidding. I did this shit for like a year, just every single day, working on it. And do you have hard days? Yeah, you have hard days. But when you experience this kind of power you have within yourself in a full circle moment of witnessing your own growth, the hard days are nothing. They're nothing. When you remember how insecure and how scared and how upset you were, thinking something was wrong with you when really it was a feeling within you that you had to learn from. And 7 years later, that lesson comes to fruition. The hard days are definitely worth it. They're definitely worth it. And so I want you to journal. This is your action step. So I want you to journal after this video, after you watch this video. Just brain dump. Do it when you wake up tomorrow morning so that your brain is just kind of clear. Or if you're feeling super charged up and emotional, or just like you want to do it right now, do it now. Do it now. Journal on all of the ways you can love yourself this week. Now, if you're feeling like you hate yourself, that's going to be a little triggering, but it's extremely necessary. Even if you're feeling insecure, think of all the ways you can love yourself this week. Show yourself that love this week. All the ways you can say you love yourself, all the ways you can act and show love to yourself. All of the ways that, and like deep love for yourself, not just like taking a bath. I know that's self-care, but I'm not talking about self-care. I'm talking about self-love. Self-love is holding yourself on a very intimate level when you're uncomfortable. How can you choose you this week? That's really what it comes down to. And not just this week, for the next indefinite amount of time, because this journey never ends. But Just because it never ends doesn't mean that you never get anywhere. And just because it never ends and it's a long road doesn't mean that it's not worth it to start. Because as you start every single day, things will unfold in a way that you could never, ever imagine, in the most perfect way possible. And that's just how the universe works, right? God, whatever name you want to put on it. And that's just how it works. But these things won't present themselves to you if you're not doing the work. Or let me correct myself. They will present themselves, but you won't see them. You won't see them. So I want you to journal on all the ways you can love yourself. I also want you to journal. This is shadow work. So my method of shadow work is self-love before and after. Journal on all the ways you love yourself and can love yourself even more. I'm actually going to put up a self-love EFT tapping, like, the emotional freedom technique tapping. I have a self-love EFT video for shadow work. So basically, I want you to do self-love, shadow work, self-love. This is my method of shadow work. I think it's the most profound and important way to do shadow work, because when you do shadow work, here's the thing, you can't heal what doesn't feel good inside of you if you don't know what it is. So shadow work is getting to know what it is. And shadow work's really dark. It's not fun. I'm not going to lie to you about any of it. It's emotional. You cry, maybe you get mad, you experience a lot of emotions. It's not fun. It's not fun sitting by yourself with yourself and asking yourself all of the things you don't like, or all of the things that feel icky or uncomfortable, or all of the things that hurt right now. It's not fun, but it's very, very rewarding, and it's very, very necessary. And so the way that I do shadow work and that I teach you to do shadow work is to sandwich it with self-love, so that you're going into it from a place of deep self-love. I'm going to do this for myself to heal myself. And then the self-love after is really to just help pull you out of the darkness. And so I have a self-love EFT tapping session. I'm going to put it up on my YouTube. You can go find it. I'll put it up soon. So if you're watching the replay, it's probably already up there. And do that before and after shadow work. And I promise you, it will reprogram that self-love into you. And what EFT does, if you don't know what EFT tapping is, emotional freedom technique, is it's a way, so it does a lot of things at once. So it's kind of like doing light work and shadow work at the same time. I heard somebody say that today, and I thought it was a perfect representation. So basically what happens is you tap acupressure points while you do two things. There's two parts of EFT. You're tapping acupressure points on your face and your body at the same time of saying your uncomfortability. And then the second part of it is, once you're done acknowledging that your uncomfortability or your unease is real, then we reprogram what we really want to feel, what the truth is. And so it activates your parasympathetic nervous system. And what your parasympathetic nervous system does is it's the part of your brain that soothes your body. So while you're doing this tapping, you're calming yourself down, you're processing emotions, and you're reprogramming what you want. So it's very, very powerful. And it's a life changer. Honestly, it's a life changer. So do the self-love EFT before and after shadow work. Do the journal prompts to anchor in that self-love. How can I love myself even more this week? And I also want you to just brain dump a list of all the reasons why you do love yourself, all the reasons why you do, and not just external things, things about you that you only you know are just deep within your soul. What do you love about yourself? Have you ever thought about it? It's not just your hair, it's not just, you know, your teeth, it's not just your perfect bone structure, you know, like it's your resiliency, it's your, you know, maybe the love you have for others, it's maybe the way that you come back from things. I guess that's resiliency, but you know, I'm having a little bit of a brain fart right now, but it's all of those deep things. It's you to the core. And so you can say the external things, but it's not the part of the exercise. And if the external things helps to get you moving, definitely put them down. I'm not telling you not to put them down, but I do want you to go deep. Go deep on all the reasons that you love yourself. No end in sight. No numbers on the list. I'm not telling you to just write down 10. Write down at least 10. But definitely go over that. And then once you marinate in that self-love, if it feels comfortable, not comfortable, if it feels doable, if you're experiencing this, I don't want to deal with this, but I kind of like want to get past it, or I don't want to deal with this at all, so I'm not going to do it, like, do it. If you have any kind of known trauma or history of trauma or anything like that, then you know better than me if you know where you should go in terms of shadow work. So definitely take that into account. But then write a list of all the things you don't like, all the things you want to change, all the things that make you uncomfortable, all the things that make you mad about you, about how you do things, about how you look, about deep habits and beliefs, things you want to change, things you don't like, things you could do without, things that you've experienced and done in your life that you're not happy with. Write a list of those after you marinate in that list. And this is something that can take place over a week or a couple days. Doesn't really have to be in one night. That's a lot of emotions for one night. Definitely anchor in the self-love for at least a week before you do the shadow work. And then after you write that list of shadow work, I want you to do two things. I want you to give yourself a pat on the back, because that shit's hard. I want you to say three things. I want you to say, I love you to yourself. And then I want you to do the self-love EFT. So here are the steps. Do the self-love EFT and the list of self-love for a week, 7 days. Then you're going to do the shadow work. Then you're going to do the self-love again. And then you're going to find out, figure out your own way. But this is just to get you started or just to get you back into it. And it's really going to be profound. I'm really excited for you. I want to know in the comments how it works for you, what kind of realizations you have, how you feel. Even if it felt uncomfortable, I want to know. It's valid. Any of the emotions are valid. And I'm here with you for it. I've done this deep work before. I've done it, and I've done it at a time in my life when I thought I was never going to be able to get over things that I have gotten over. And you have to have the belief with these things. You have to have the belief before you see it. That's just how it is. When you have a vision for yourself or for your life or for who you want to be, the vision comes before the reality. And we have this incredible thing inside of our heads, our mind, that is so powerful, and it can actually make our visions become reality with some action and continuing to hold the vision. And so the vision of you is possible. It's always possible. It's always there. But you have to stop being an asshole to yourself first. You have to create a baseline. You create the baseline through self-love and shadow work, so that when things come up, you're like, whoa, this isn't me. What's going on? It creates the consciousness, the awareness, and the easy, it's like the easy indication, like, this isn't me, this isn't my baseline, what's happening. And so it's like the quicker indication of, how can I approach this with curiosity? This isn't me. And so it really separates your ego and your thoughts from you. Because if you've ever read the book The Untethered Soul, they talk all about consciousness, and there's a whole chapter on who are you and the person's like, well, I'm Victoria, and they're like, so you are just letters in a certain order? That's who you are? That's what you are? And it's like, oh, well, I'm a body. And it's like, well, if you're a body, why, when you die, where do you go, kind of thing. That kind of gets a little religious. But like, even just, if you're just a body, like, you're just a pile of bones and muscles? No, there's a consciousness inside of you. There's a consciousness. And so they really go over and open your mind to that consciousness. And I really recommend reading that book. It's not very long. It's like not even 200 pages. I have it right here, actually. This is the book, The Untethered Soul by Michael A. Singer. And it's great. See, who are you really? Who are you really? And so as you start to do this work, you start to realize that, and then you'll know. But what they say in the book is that you are not your thoughts. You are not your thoughts. So that really helps a lot with this kind of work and with getting through those insecurities, because I know that when you're insecure and when you're unhappy with your body and when you feel really uncomfortable about how you show up in the world, those thoughts do feel like you. And those thoughts are really mean and really intrusive, like those thoughts of like, I'm fat, or, I'm a loser, or nobody likes me, or all these things. Like, those aren't you. They are not, my love. I promise you, they are not you. They are your ego trying to keep you comfortable, trying to keep you safe on a very surface level, trying to keep you safe. Why is it trying to keep you safe? Because it's not safe to go and deal with unprocessed emotions. Like, it's safe, but to your ego, it's uncomfortable. And it's like, oh, I don't want her to go through that uncomfortability. But if we don't go through uncomfortability, we never grow. That's why I took the time to tell you that whole story, so that you could see the full circle moment. When you do the work, the growth and the evolution shows up in a way you could never have designed yourself. It's just how it's supposed to work out, but you have to do your part. And that's why I had this webinar. So who are you really? And I want to talk about the Queen Energy Group program, because this is just at the tip of the iceberg of what we go over in that program, which is launching soon. You can join the wait list right now, and then you'll know when enrollment opens. But we start on February 14th, 2022. If you're watching this recording after that date, still put your name on the wait list, because then the next time we do enrollment, you'll get a notification, because I do plan on doing this group program more than once, because I think it was just a channeled and intuitive group program. And so this queen energy is dealing with the hard shit. It's remembering and knowing that there's a fiery queen, sovereign queen inside of you who wants to come out into the world and be who she's supposed to be. And the great thing about how I've designed this program is it doesn't fit you into a box. It doesn't tell you a queen is bold, a queen has red hair, a queen is loud, a queen is, assertive. It doesn't tell you all the things a queen are supposed to be to you. It allows you to find the queen inside of you, whoever she may be. Whoever the most powerful version of you is, that's the queen. And so we have a whole week where we go over who is this queen? Who is she? We define her, we figure her out, we reach inside through meditation and through talking about it and hot seat coaching about who is she? Who do you want to pull out of you as the queen? Who do you want to show up as? And so that's the first week. Who is the queen in you of the group program? And so we're 8 weeks long. We meet every single week on a live Zoom. And then we have a Facebook group, the Queen Community, where you're going to get to talk to and grow with like-minded people, go through it all together. It also allows me to check in with you guys daily and to help integrate the lessons. So what's going to happen is there's going to be modules. There's one module per week for 8 weeks. And then I'm going to make the modules available earlier in the week, so then when we have our Zoom call, we can get right down to the resistances, the blockages, like the meaty stuff. And we can do hot seat coaching, and I can talk about, what you guys are going through as you go through the modules, if that makes sense. So you're gonna learn, and then I'm gonna reinforce and break through any of the blockages you're having. Help you break through any of the blockages you're having. So week 1 is who is the queen in you. Week 2 is why do you want this? What is holding you back? We go through resistances and blockages, but also we anchor you into the deep core why. Why do you want to pull this person out? What will it mean for your life? What will it mean for your legacy? What will it mean for how you show up every day? What is the reason why you want to do this? And then we're going to bridge the gap. We're going to come up with a game plan. What do you have to do now to go from where you are now to the queen? What do we have to do? Then weeks 4 through 7, we work on all of the ways that you strengthen the queen, that you work through the blockages, but also that you strengthen those emotions and those experiences. So it's worthiness, confidence, physiology, self-trust, and intuition, all very huge for this kind of energy. And then week 8 is integration. I send you off into the sunset and give you all of the tools and tips to continue on with your life, making her stronger every single day. And so this program, I'm very, very passionate about this program, and I'm very excited to bring it to you and to have all of these like deaths and rebirths, deaths of the person you are right now and are going to be in the past, and rebirth of this powerful, sovereign queen that lives inside of you. Because once you realize your power, it gets very hard to not live in your power, not live in your purpose, not live in your truth. And once you start living in those things every single day, life changes. Life is never the same in the best way possible. And I want everybody to experience that. So you can sign up at the waitlist. I linked it below. It's the first link. And I do these webinars once every week. Different topics every single week. It's just a free thing that I love to do, to chat and to share eye-opening experiences and insights and perspectives with you. It's all about starting to get on the self-growth and self-evolution and self-development journey. And so that's why I'm going to continue to do these webinars every single week for free. You can sign up for them. If you go follow me on Instagram at TrueTori, TrueTori, I announce them each week, but also I put up a calendar in the beginning of the month. If you sign up for my email list, which I'll also put down below in the description, you get the calendar in the beginning of the month. So you'll be the first to know when all these webinars are. And you also get the replay to your email, and you don't have to wait until I put it up on YouTube. So that being said, I love you so much. I'm so excited for your self-love and shadow work and self-development and full circle moments and experiences. And I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful day. And remember that triggers and people are just mirrors. They're just mirrors of the energy that you feel inside of you. It hurts because you actually feel that inside of you. That's why it hurts. Not because they said it, because you believe it's true. And so once we stop believing it's true, that's when everything shifts. I love you, and I'll see you next time.